Question. When planning to make a left turn across an intersection and you are waiting in the middle of the intersection for the traffic to clear, your front tires should be turned. Option number 1. It depends on the sharpness of the turn. Option number 2. To the right. Option number 3. Straight ahead. Option number 4. Downward. The answer is option number 3. Straight ahead. Note. Your front wheel should remain straight ahead until you begin your turn. Question. When you see a roadwork ahead sign, you should. Option number 1. Look for the roadwork. Option number 2. Look for the road closed flooding. Option number 3. Look for workers ahead. Option number 4. Look for the flagger ahead. Road construction ahead. The answer is option number 1. Look for the roadwork. Note. Roadwork ahead. This sign informs you there is roadwork ahead and also cautions you to slow down. Question. You should drive on the shoulder to pass a car only. Option number 1. If the vehicle ahead of you is turning left. Option number 2. Under no circumstances. Option number 3. If the shoulder is wide enough. Option number 4. None of the above. The answer is option number 2. Under no circumstances. Note. Passing on the right is permissible only if it is possible to do so without driving off the roadway. Never pass another vehicle on the shoulder because the other driver will not expect you to be there and may pull off the road. Question. Compared to driving during the day, driving at night is option number 1. Less dangerous. Option number 2. No more of less dangerous. Option number 3. More dangerous. Option number 4. Easier on your eyes. The answer is option number 3. More dangerous. Note. The highest crash rate occur during nighttime hours. Most serious crashes occur in twilight or darkness. Overall traffic fatality rates are 3 to 4 times higher at night than in daytime. Compared to driving in the day, driving at night is more dangerous. There are several reasons for this. Your vision is severely limited at night. Glare from other vehicles' headlights may temporarily blind you. More people who are tired or who are driving under the influence are likely to be on the road at night. Question. When you are driving on the freeway and the vehicle in front of you is a large truck, you should drive. Option number 1. Closer behind the truck than you would if following a passenger vehicle. Option number 2. Farther behind the truck than you would if following a passenger vehicle. Option number 3. To the right side of the truck and wait to pass. Option number 4. None of the above. The answer is option number 2. Farther behind the truck than you would if following a passenger vehicle. Note. It is necessary to follow farther behind a large truck than you would if following a passenger vehicle because trucks have larger blind spots. Allow yourself plenty of time when passing a truck. At highway speeds, it can take up to 30 seconds to safely pass a truck. When you pass, do so quickly. Do not continuously drive alongside the truck. You are in the truck driver's blind spot. After passing, change lanes only when you can see the truck's headlights or front grille in your rear view mirror. Question. To stop in an emergency situation when your car does not have ABS brakes, you should. Option number 1. Hold down the brake pedal. Option number 2. Firmly pump your brakes. Option number 3. Lightly tap the brakes. Option number 4. Apply hard steady pressure without locking up your wheels. The answer is option number 4. Apply hard steady pressure without locking up your wheels. Note. Without ABS, press and release the brakes repeatedly. Pumping the brakes will slow your vehicle and keep it under control. Slamming on the brakes can lock your wheels, causing your vehicle to skid. Question. It is illegal in Pennsylvania to operate a motor vehicle with a BAC of dash or higher. Option number 1. 0.08. Option number 2, 0.09. Option number 3, 0.10. Option number 4, 0.11. The answer is option number 1, 0.08. Note: the penalties for driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs are severe. In Pennsylvania, if you are of legal drinking age 21 or older, you are considered to be driving while under the influence if your blood alcohol level is 0.08 or higher. But you also may be convicted of DUI at lower BSC levels if you are stopped by police for driving erratically, like too slow, too fast, straddling your lane, making wide turns, stopping for no reason, failing to obey traffic signs and signals, etc. Question: what is a true statement regarding driving in Pennsylvania? Option number 1, it is a privilege. Option number 2, it is an honor. Option number 3, it is a pleasure. Option number 4, it is a dignity. The answer is option number 1, it is a privilege. Note: according to Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, driving is a privilege and not a right. This privilege comes with many responsibilities. One very important responsibility is that you never mix drinking and driving. Question: what does a steady red light mean when it's over a traffic lane? Option number 1, that lane is for bicycles only. Option number 2, you are permitted to use that lane but within a speed limit. Option number 3, you are permitted to use that lane. Option number 4, you are not permitted to use that lane. The answer is option number 4, you are not permitted to use that lane. Note: a steady red X over a lane means you are not allowed to use that traffic lane. Question: when a car with bright headlights come towards you at night, you should: option number 1, stop until the other driver passes. Option number 2, look below their headlights. Option number 3, glance towards the right edge of your lane. Option number 4, stare at the bright headlights until it reaches you. The answer is option number 3, glance towards the right edge of your lane. Note: to avoid being blinded when driving at night, do not look directly at the headlights of oncoming cars. Instead, look towards the right edge of the road until oncoming drivers has passed. When driving at night, use low beams as soon as you see another vehicle approaching in oncoming lane, as high beams can blind the other driver. Pennsylvania law requires you to use low beams whenever you are within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle and when you are following a vehicle within 300 feet. If a vehicle using high beams comes towards you, flash your high beams quickly a few times. If the driver does not dim their lights, look towards the right side of the road. This will keep you from being blinded by other vehicles' headlights and will allow you to see well enough to stay on your course until the vehicle passes. If glare from a following vehicle's headlight is uncomfortable because it is reflecting in your rear view mirror, you can switch the inside rear view mirror from its daytime to nighttime setting. Question: when driving in foggy conditions, you should: option number 1, low beam headlights. Option number 2, high beam headlights. Option number 3, parking lights. Option number 4, hazard flashes. The answer is option number 1, low beam headlights. Note: turn on your low beam headlights and fog lights if your vehicle has them so others can see you. Do this whether it is daytime or nighttime. Do not use your high beams. They direct their light up and into the fog, which bounces the light back into your eyes, creating glare and making it even harder for you to see ahead. Question: is it legal to cross a double yellow center line to pass? Option number 1, yes. Option number 2, no. Option number 3, if there is no oncoming traffic. Option number 4, if the vehicle ahead of you is driving under the speed limit. The answer is option number 2, no. Note: double solid yellow center line shows the center of a two-way road. Even if it is not marked with no passing sign, Passing by traffic traveling in either direction is not allowed on roads marked in this manner. Two solid yellow lines down the center of a two-way road mean that neither lane of traffic may cross the lines unless they are turning off of the roadway. A driver can cross double yellow line when turning into or out of a driveway or entrance of a business. No passing is allowed over a solid yellow line. Question. The measure to be used by the driver who is following a vehicle under good road conditions is option number 1, 1 second following distance. Option number 2, 2 second following distance. Option number 3, 3 second following distance. Option number 4, 4 second following distance. The answer is option number 4, 4 second following distance. Note: a 4 second following distance will allow you to steer or brake to avoid a hazard safely on the highway if the pavement is dry. If you are following too closely and the vehicle ahead of you stops or slows suddenly, you will not be able to avoid a crash. Keeping a safe following distance will enable you to react to a problem ahead without the need for a panic stop, which could cause a following driver to crash into the back of your vehicle. To determine your following distance, watch the rear bumper of the vehicle ahead of you. When the bumper passes a road marking or a roadside object like a telephone pole, start counting how many seconds it takes you to reach the same spot on the road. If you pass the marking or object in less than 4 seconds, you are following too closely. Question. When driving on slippery roads, you should option number 1, use alternate routes. Option number 2, drive as you would on dry roads. Option number 3, increase your following distance. Option number 4, avoid crossing bridges or intersections. The answer is option number 3, increase your following distance. Note: when roads get slippery, you should number 1, reduce your speed by 5 to 10 miles per hour on wet roads and increase your following distance to 5 or 6 seconds. Number 2, apply brakes gently, ease off if you start to skid and reapply when you regain control. Number 3, do not use your cruise control when driving on slippery roads. Snow, ice, slush and rain can cause wheel spin and lose of control. The only way to stop wheel spin and regain control is to reduce power. But an activated cruise control system will continue to apply power, keeping your wheel spinning. Number 4, adjust your speed to avoid meeting other vehicles at slippery areas such as shady spots and frost on bridges during cold weather. This will reduce the risk of skidding into the other vehicle. Question. When you want to change lanes, you can see if another vehicle is in a blind spot. Option number 1, only if you turn and glance over your head. Option number 2, only if you turn and glance under your legs. Option number 3, only if you turn and glance over your shoulder. Option number 4, none of the above. The answer is option number 3, only if you turn and glance over your shoulder. Note: you must also check traffic behind you as often as possible. This is very important when you are planning to change lanes or back up. Changing lanes includes changing from one lane to another on a roadway, entering a highway from an entrance lane, entering the roadway from the curb or shoulder. Before you change lanes, give the proper turn signal. Look in your rear view and side mirrors and make sure no one is going to pass you. Do not depend on mirrors or sensors alone. Look over your left and right shoulders to make sure no one is in a vehicle's blind spots. Check these spots quickly. Do not take your eyes off the road ahead for more than a second. On roads with 3 or more lanes, check all lanes before you make a lane change. Someone in another lane may also be planning to move into the same spot where you want to go. Question. As you pull away from the curb, you should option number 1, allow all vehicles, pedestrians to pass. Option number 2, you don't need to be much careful for pulling out of the curb. Option number 3, signal, check over shoulder, then pull out when safe. Option number 4, pull out as quickly as possible. The answer is option number 3, signal, check over shoulder, then pull out when safe. Note: when pulling away from the curb, you should signal, check over shoulder, then pull out when safe. Check your rear view mirror, then pull out when safe. Shoulder check and then pull out when safe. Question: what is true about blind spots? Option number 1. Blind spots are eliminated if you have one outside mirror. Option number 2. Large trucks have bigger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. Option number 3. Blind spots can be checked by looking in your rear view mirror. Option number 4. None of the above. The answer is option number 2. Large trucks have bigger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. Note: trucks have much larger no zones on both sides of their vehicles than passenger vehicles. When you drive in these no zones, you cannot be seen by truck drivers. If you are in truck's blind spot and it begins to move into your lane, remain calm and take note of your vehicle's position relative to the front of the truck. Even if a vehicle is properly equipped with rear view and outside mirrors, it still has blind spots that cannot be seen in the mirrors. Large trucks have much larger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. Question: to safely navigate through a curve, you should. Option number 1. Speed up before the curve and make a sharp turn while in the curve. Option number 2. Press the brake pedal as much as you can while in the curve. Option number 3. Speed up before entering a curve. Option number 4. Slow down before entering a curve and avoid braking while in the curve. The answer is option number 4. Slow down before entering a curve and avoid braking while in the curve. Question: when passing another vehicle, you can exceed the posted speed limit. Option number 1. Always. Option number 2. Sometimes. Option number 3. Never. Option number 4. When you are allowed. The answer is option number 3. Never. Note: posted speed limits indicate what the maximum safe driving speed is under the ideal road traffic and weather conditions. Number 1. The maximum speed limit in Pennsylvania is 70. Number 2. The maximum speed limit on interstate highways is posted after each interchange. Number 3. On the other highways, the maximum speed limit would be posted at approximately half miles intervals. Number 4. In school zones, the speed limit is 15 miles per hour when the lights on the school zone signs are flashing or during the time period indicated on signs. School zone speed limits are lower than other speed limits. When the road is wet or slippery, when you cannot see well, or when anything else makes conditions less than perfect, drive below the posted speed limit. Even if you are driving within the posted speed limit, you can still be ticketed for driving too fast for conditions. Question: roads and highways are always most slippery when. Option number 1. When it has been raining hard for several hours. Option number 2. When they are clean and dry. Option number 3. Just after it starts to rain. Option number 4. None of the above. The answer is option number 3. Just after it starts to rain. Note: driving during the first half hour of rainfall is dangerous because roadways become extremely slippery when the water mixes with oil and other chemicals on the road surfaces that have not yet washed away. Use extra caution when driving on slippery roads. Question: when taking medication while driving, the most important thing for you to do is. Option number 1. Get behind the wheel before the medication can take effect. Option number 2. Understand the effects of the medication and adjust your driving accordingly. Option number 3. Make several rest stops on your trip. Option number 4. Ask another person to ride with you. The answer is option number 2. Understand the effects of the medication and adjust your driving accordingly. Note: prescription and over-the-counter drugs such as sleeping pills, cough medicines, antihistamines can affect your driving skills in a variety of ways. It is always important to review warning labels about the medication's side effects prior to driving. If you have any questions about a medication's side effects, it is important to consult with your doctor or pharmacist before driving. Remember, when the warning label states Don't operate heavy machinery. Your vehicle is considered heavy machinery. Prescription drugs can also affect driving. Talk to your doctor when starting any new medication and make sure you are aware of any potential side effects. Question: what are the three types of vehicles recognized by Pennsylvania law? Option number 1: bicycle, horse drawn vehicles, and motor vehicles. Option number 2: motor vehicles, truck, tractor. Option number 3: scooter, moped, horse drawn vehicles. Option number 4: bicycles, moped, truck. The answer is option number 1: bicycles, horse drawn vehicles, and motor vehicles. Note: the rules of the road and traffic operation principles presented in the Pennsylvania Driver's Manual apply to three types of vehicles recognized by Pennsylvania law: bicycles, horse drawn vehicles, and motor vehicles. For example, all bicyclists, just like motorists, are required to stop at red lights. Question: what are the three tests needed to obtain a license? Option number 1: vision, knowledge, and road skills test. Option number 2: eyesight, mental ability, and running. Option number 3: balancing, running, cycling. Option number 4: flying, driving, and eyesight. The answer is option number 1: vision, knowledge, and road skills test. Note: to apply for the first driver's license in Pennsylvania, you must pass physical examination, gather documentation, and pass your eye screening, knowledge, and skills test. This is your complete plan of action depending on your age. Question: what is meant by Class A? Option number 1: minimum age 18. Option number 2: required to operate any combination vehicles with a gross weight of 26,001 pounds or more, where the vehicle being towed are in excess of 10,000 pounds. Option number 3: the holder of a Class A license is qualified to operate vehicles for which a Class B or Class C license is issued. Where required, appropriate endorsements must be obtained. Option number 4: all of the above. The answer is option number 4: all of the above. Note: Class A, minimum age 18, required to operate any combination of vehicles with a gross weight rating of 26,001 pounds or more, where the vehicles being towed is or are in excess of 10,000 pounds. Example: recreational vehicle when the towing vehicle is rated at 11,000 pounds and the vehicle towed is rated at 15,500 pounds, total combination weight of 26,500 pounds. Question: what is meant by Class B? Option number 1: minimum age 18. Option number 2: required to obtain any single vehicle rated in excess of 26,000 pounds or more, or any such vehicle towing a vehicle having a gross vehicle weight rating of not more than 10,000 pounds. Option number 3: the holder of a Class B license is qualified to operate vehicles for which a Class C license is issued. Where required, appropriate endorsements must be obtained. Option number 4: all of the above. The answer is option number 4: all of the above. Note: Class B, minimum age 18, required to operate any single vehicle rated in excess of 26,000 pounds. Example: motorhomes rated at 26,001 pounds or more. Question: what is meant by Class C? Option number 1: minimum age 16. Option number 2: includes firemen and police officers. Option number 3: authorized to drive a motor driven cycle with an automatic transmission and cylinder capacity of 50 cc's or less, or a three-wheeled motorcycle with an enclosed cab. Option number 4: all of the above. The answer is option number 4: all of the above. Note: Class C, minimum age 16. A Class C driver's license will be issued to persons 16 years of age or older who have demonstrated their qualities to operate any vehicles except those requiring a Class M qualification and who do not meet the definitions of Class A or Class B. Any firefighter or member of a rescue or emergency squad who is in the holder of a Class C driver's license and who has certificate of authorization from a fire chief or head of the rescue or emergency squad will be authorized to operate any fire or emergency vehicle registered to that fire department, rescue or emergency squad or municipality. The holder of a Class C license is authorized to drive a motor driven cycle with an automatic transmission and cylinder capacity of 50 cc's or less, or a three wheeled motorcycle with an enclosed cab. Question: what is meant by Class M? Option number 1: minimum age 16. Option number 2: ability to operate a motorcycle or motor driven cycle. Option number 3: age restriction appears on driver's license. Option number 4: all of the above. The answer is option number 4: all of the above. Note: Class M minimum age 16. A Class M driver's license will be issued to those persons 16 years of age or older who have demonstrated the ability to operate a motorcycle or motor driven cycle. If a person is qualified to operate only a motorcycle or motor driven cycle, they will be issued a Class M driver's license. If you test on a motor driven cycle, an age restriction will appear on our driver's license. This restriction prohibits you from operating a motorcycle. If you test on a motorcycle with more than two wheels, a 9 restriction will appear on your driver's license. This restriction prohibits you from operating two-wheeled motorcycle. Please refer to the Pennsylvania Motorcycle Operators Manual PUB 147 or the mopeds, motor driven cycles, and motorcycles fact sheet located on PennDOT's Driver and Vehicle Service website in the Motorcycle Information Center. Question: when traffic lights are arranged horizontally, on what side is the red light? Option number 1: right. Option number 2: left. Option number 3: middle. Option number 4: far right. The answer is option number 2: left. Note: on a traffic signal arranged vertically, red is always on top and green on the bottom. Where arranged horizontally, the red is always on the left and green on the right. Question: what type of turn can you make at red light? Option number 1. Option number 1: a left turn. Must first stop, check for and yield to pedestrians and other traffic. Option number 2: a right turn. Must first stop, check for and yield to pedestrians and other traffic. Option number 3: you cannot make any turn. Option number 4: none of the above. The answer is option number 2: a right turn. Must first stop, check for and yield to pedestrians and other traffic. Question: what should you do at a yellow light if there is not enough time or space to safely slow down before the intersection? Option number 1: continue through intersection with precaution. Option number 2: maintain your usual speed through the intersection. Option number 3: speed up and go through the intersection as soon as possible. Option number 4: come to a complete stop. The answer is option number 1: continue through intersection with precaution.